Hello, hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie, she, her pronouns. I am a Dream School Level 2 student. I'm also a teaching apprentice at Dream School and a member of the development and comms team. So I want to welcome y'all. I want to let you know that we will be getting started at 12:05. So in the meantime, please get yourself comfortable, have some drinks and snacks available, burn your incense, have all the good smells. And we invite you all to introduce yourselves in the chat with your name, your pronouns, your location currently, and your origins. We will be holding folks lovingly accountable for pronouns today. So if you mix up someone's pronouns, say sorry and move on. Please don't center yourself in that moment. We uplift the medicine of our kin, of sacred gender variance, and trans experience. Throughout the ceremony today, resources will be shared in the chat. If the multiple methods of interaction are overstimulating for you, please choose the method that works best for your learning. You can close your eyes and just listen. You can mute the sound and follow only on the chat, or you can watch the storyteller's facial expressions. The prayers have been laid down for you to receive exactly what you need today. So we'll be getting started in just 1 minute. All right, everyone, let's begin. So DADA is the brainchild of master dream worker Tyrell Blackmoss. Tyrell Blackmoss, they, he pronouns, is a prophetic dream worker and a descendant of a long line of African priests, Black prayer warriors, and Turtle Island medicine people. He carries at least 12,000 years of earth medicine traditions and billions of years of cosmic knowledge. He is called to be a steward of the new heaven and the new earth, guiding us to remember the practices of the ancient dream temples. His blood lineage has preserved the power of the tongue, mind, and listening to our animal relatives while commanding the harsh climates to become their spaces of refuge. He is a Lake Michigan hoodoo claiming Maroon Nation. Blackmoss is a major grant recipient of National Black Arts Artist Project Fund and the founder of Weaving Webs, Cause Rain, and Dream Reclamation, Energy and Ancestral Healing and Matriarchal Practice, Dream School, and also the curator of Diasporic African Dream Anthology, DADA. A scholarly researcher with a Bachelor of Fine Arts with an emphasis in Africana Studies and Indigenous Studies from Cornell University, and a Black Indigenous Transmasculine Sangoma Gobela Initiate, Blackmoss reclaims and continues their family legacy of the science and art of dreaming.
Thank you, Stephanie, for that beautiful introduction. I would like to welcome everyone to this space. A big shout out to National Black Arts, which is the oldest multidisciplinary arts organization in the United States, for providing funding for the success of this event. Big thank you to Oshi and Z, who will be moderating our chat today. Big thank you to Roldine, who's responsible for the graphics, the beautiful flyers, the graphics behind me. Thank you to Ale for the tech support. Thank you to Jen, the Rainmaker, and Ezra Rocha for your medicine and cultivating this sacred space and the medicine that you provided for the medicinal media that will be playing at the beginning. Thank you to Roldine and Afro-Maya Malik, who weren't able to be here today because they are tending to sacred collective care work together. In the chat, you'll find bios of all of these wonderful, wonderful, wonderful healers and medicine workers so that you can find out more about them. I want to begin this space acknowledging the grief that we have been experiencing. And throughout the ceremony today, I invite you to move your body in the ways that your body desires to be moved, to release some of the grief that is coming. Oshi is doing a lot of movement work. You can follow Oshi as they intuitively move, as they show the ways that you can hold yourself. We are going to open the ceremony today with some medicinal media. Ale, can you pull up the video? It's beautiful graphic with Ezra and Z, Zakia, Jen the Rainmaker, Oshi Delgade.
People speak through mountains and rivers, the places we dream of returning to meet with the great creator.
Can you pause for a second? So I just hear the audio and not the video. I still see the screen with Jen the Rainmaker and Z. Beautiful, thank you.
You hear now? Okay.
Except it does still have that weird gray box.
We once
Can you start it over?
Honestly, I don't know what's up with this gray box. Please document it and take a picture for future research.
Our people speak through mountains and rivers, the places we dream of returning to meet with the great creator. A home we once provided and cared for, all of its creatures and energies. We speak of mountains like warriors speak of triumph and dreams. We speak of rivers like grandmothers speak wisdom to the trees. We speak of valleys and canyons as opportunities to fly like Thunderbird. We speak of Mother Earth's hair with joy and humble words. We speak of rain and thunder like divine entities in the sky. We speak of Sky Woman and Corn Mother with our heads held high. We are still here in every stone, branch, and bend. We are still here to protect water and the lands we were born to defend.
Baba Fururu Lorereo O Kanyenye Leibo Elerifa Obasi Basao Eiborere Basiawo We offer this medicine song across time, across space, for the descendants and for the ancestors. Baba Fururu, Lorereo, O Kanyenye Heleibo, Elerifa Obasi Basawo, Eiborere Basiao. And you ya our Lord, our Lord, bless your God, Baba Fururu, Lorereo, O Kanyenye Heleibo. Elerifa obasi basawo, eiborere basiao, enyuya ye awaloro, awaloro, alesioka. Baba Fururu, Lorereo, O Kanyenye Heleibo, Eleripa Obasi Basawo, Eiborere Basiao. And you ya our Lord, our Lord, bless your God, Baba Fururu, Lorereo, O Kanyenye Heleibo. Eleripa obasi basawo, eiborere basaiwo, eyuyaye, eawaloro, eawaloro. Él es your God. I invite folks to take a minute and share in the chat. Where in your body do you feel sensations after watching the video and hearing the medicine song? The intention of this space, the intention of DADA, is to co-create spaces for Black and Indigenous people to dream through art, earth healing, and community engagement. Firstly, these events are to remind people that they had a dream that got them from where they are now, and open up spaces for folks to dream for the children here now and for future generations. The goal of DADA is to redistribute at least $1 million in funds to those most affected by the planet coming back into equilibrium, what we also call climate change. DADA opening ceremony and sacred story circle with Black and Indigenous storytellers speaking about the powerful medicine of dreams, working the land, and creating art. DADA showcases the work of 10 Black, African, and Indigenous artists. DADA is a digital exhibition and ceremony space of visual, literary, an oral history weaving of indigenous African dream practices, moving through time, space, and diaspora, offering refuge, solace, and solutions for our present experiences. I now invite our storytellers to start sharing your story. At the beginning, let the folks know your name and your origins. We're going to be sharing organically as if we're sitting around a kitchen table, sharing stories across geographies and space-time. I'm very excited to see who feels moved to go first. While y'all are deciding, I will read some things in the chat and just jump in when you're ready. Solar plexus and heart. I felt that I needed to rest. I feel it in my back and where my head connects to the neck on the right. Crown and root. Head and throat. Kemi, in the chat, you are sharing where in your body do you feel sensation after watching the video? And the storytellers, when they feel ready, are going to begin telling their stories.
I guess I'll go. Can you hear me?
We hear you great.
Awesome. I don't like to go first, but I'll go first. My name is Leilani, pronouns she, her, and my origin is I live in New York, Mamaroneck, New York, which is in Westchester County. But my origins is everywhere and anywhere that my people were and are. So I identify as a Black Afro-Latina, and I am, the work that I do, I am a healer, I am an artist, I am a grief worker, and I am just me. I am a mother of 6, and I am who I am. So I'm gonna explain my dream. And I kind of did it in a story form since this is storytelling. It took me a long time to understand who I am in this life. Other identities I took may have been just a protection, but it also blinded me from who I am today. For 19 years, I was a slave to the fear of death, not really understanding what death really was. The church deepened my fear. Most of my family didn't understand my fear, and I laid trapped in it, experiencing many levels of it throughout my life. So throughout my life, I suffered from a lot of panic attacks, a lot of anxiety, and it kind of paralyzed me for many years. When I lost my baby in 2017, death changed me. One miscarriage after another, it shifted me. I didn't feel like a slave. I felt new. I felt unshackled. I felt free. I took on a new identity. In my grief, I found myself. In the winter of 2019, I had a dream, but I felt awake. I really couldn't tell the difference between if I was awake or if I was asleep or I was in a dream. But in the dream, it was dark. I couldn't see anything nor feel anything. All of a sudden, I felt myself take my last breath. It felt so real. It's an experience that I would never, ever forget because it felt so real. I felt air leave my body. I sat there for maybe a few minutes and I was like, wow, I'm not experiencing any type of anxiety. I felt calm. And I said to myself, wow, this is what death feels like. This is what it feels like to take my last breath. No fear, just calmness. This probably lasted about a minute until I was like, I think I need to wake up to make sure that I'm not really dead. So I woke myself up, and I tapped my husband. He didn't wake up, but I tapped him just to make sure that I was still alive. I called that moment my rebirth. I am no longer the person that I was. I have deepened my relationship with myself, my ancestors, my spirit guides, spirit. Even through death and grief, I still feel me, but it looks different. I feel different and I'm different. What came out of that experience is that I emerged as an artist, I emerged as a healer, I am a mother, I am a wife, I am Leilani. But through it all, I'm still defining love for myself and the process of moving forward. And through it all, I'm still standing. So this particular image that you're seeing is I used to say it's my last piece of art, but it was one of my most recent pieces that depicts my rebirth, that dream that I had. The image of the child on the right is my younger self, and the image on the left was a picture I took of myself and painted, but that was last year. And in the middle is myself naked, sitting within Atabe. And Atabe is considered Mother Earth, and in the Tiano and Arawak tribe. And to me, this just is my rebirth. This painting represents my rebirth. I am looking at myself, my younger self, which I had to do a lot of inner child healing, and I'm still doing it, and my present self, or the person I was last year, looking at my rebirth. So that's it. Any questions, comments?
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for allowing me.
All right, y'all. What you need to loosen up a little bit. Amije, I see you in the chat. You ready to come off mic? I know Amije got some big energy. Amija's not ready.
I will go ahead and come off of mic. Okay. Being called to the floor. But that's okay though. Like, thank you so much for sharing that, because wow. It, like, the image really struck some chords with me, because it looks a lot like my own like painting style, in like the geometric figures, the shapes, definitely depicting different points in time. I like to paint things that show different points in time, different layers of myself, different versions of myself, I guess you could say. So that resonated with me a lot. Wow. And yes, for dream work, because our dreams are where we do like the most powerful things. Oh my gosh.
I'm just learning how to put my dreams and my thoughts to my art and to my creative expressions. It's different, but it's fun. It's releasing.
It's like learning a new language for sure.
Most definitely.
I I've had dreams similar to that. So I don't know if anybody else does this, but I have a tendency to go to the same places, um, not necessarily at the same times or like repeating the same dreams, but just go to the same places, usually in preparation for something. And whenever I wake up, I'm usually literally walking out of a door. And to me, that always like recent, like it symbolizes like the rebirth of me every day, a new version of me every day. So just trying to learn how to, I guess you could say, translate those images and the emotions that I'm feeling while I am dreaming or while I'm traveling. And I guess just trying to translate that to my waking life when I walk out of that door and I am born again every day. It is work. It's yeah, like I that's the base way that I could put it is work, because you have to expend energy that you normally don't. And you have to travel and do things that you normally wouldn't do in ways that, you don't expect to do them every day. And the fact that we can control our dreams, but um, our sleeping dreams, I should say, we can sort of control our sleeping dreams, but we cannot control the lessons that we need to learn from those dreams. So it's just like, you better get ready and stay ready.
Always, because sometimes it will slap you in your face if you're not ready, and it's okay. Like it's okay. I feel it's okay if you're not ready, but just be aware. A lot of right now in the space that I'm in, because of all the rebirths or the different changes, I'm so aware of myself, so it doesn't hit me as hard when a shift comes, or when grief hits. It doesn't hurt as bad if I just allow myself to breathe through it.
And there are many practices that you can do while you're awake to ease the transition and ease the bridge work that you are doing while you are dreaming and while you come awake. I wanted to share a Mije, I think it was a couple of days after we did our meeting at the beginning of July. I had a dream that you were in. I dreamed of a space that you and your mother owned. It was a space that was it was a farm, and it was a store, and the space kept changing. It kept adding on. It became church pews. It became a restaurant. It became this full community center that kept adding and adding and adding and adding. And so our dreams are not always slapping us in the face. Sometimes they are giving us information about the path that we are supposed to walk, the path that we are supposed to be cultivating. And yes, there is some of that shadow work and that healing work, but the dreams can also be very restorative and show us where we are supposed to be going.
You are absolutely right. I love that this dream has come to you, because I am accepting it full force. My relationship with my mother, my biological mother, is strange. But we definitely share a lot of the same goals and ideas as far as community care and thriving outside of just surviving. And a space like that is absolutely something that we would co-create and build to leave behind, just because we're supposed to.
I want to answer this question about staying consistent with the practices. So in Dream School, we are teaching you how to remember the practices that are specific to your ancestral lineage. And those practices are easier to stay consistent with because your family has been doing them for hundreds of years. And also, to be a dream warrior requires discipline. And so it's practice like anything else. To become a Sangoma is traditionally, it's a practice that takes 50 years. Like it's not something that you learn in 6 months or a year or 2 years. It's something that has to be practiced every day. Also, in the time that we're living in now, we do not have all of our elders around us that are also in practice with us. So we're working harder. We're working harder at this moment to remember who we are, to remember our practices. So it's also really beautiful to be patient with yourself because you are moving against hundreds of years of colonization. So anything that you are doing is helpful for you and for your descendants. I'm so excited to hear from Noah and Natsu when y'all are ready.
I can share. Just feeling so much gratitude and appreciation for being here with y'all. Definitely been very soothing to my heart and body. Pretty tired today. But yeah, it's good to be here with y'all. So yeah, my name's Noah Mcdonald. He, they pronouns, currently in south coast of Massachusetts, which is Wampanoag homeland, specifically Pokanoket tribe of Wampanoags. And yeah, I'm farmer, earth worker, scholar, dreamer. And I guess I would share a couple of things. I think one of the biggest things that's stuck with me is actually, it was more of a waking dream. And it kind of put a big pause on a lot of what I was doing. It was actually during it was on Columbus Day in 2017, I believe. I was actually teaching children in North Carolina. Oh, I didn't say my familial origins. North Carolina, the state of North Carolina on my father's side. I've been doing the genealogy going back to at least the 1730s along the upper Cape Fear River. And that has, yeah, I'm the first of that line to grow up outside of the Cape Fear River, you know, since they were brought here from West Africa. So that's always been, I kind of always felt like an outlier, like the outer twig on the tree. But to get back to this specific moment I had, I went to college in North Carolina to be close to my family, to reconnect with that place. And everything about it, the land, the people, the air, the water, and my own family, of course. I was doing school gardening and nutrition with children. And a lot of the things that had been coming up with me was that a lot of children that I was working with didn't know where food came from, like what it was. Fundamentally, they didn't know that like all of our food comes from the ground, comes from the soil, whether it's a plant or a mushroom or another living animal, all comes from the soil. And that set in motion a lot of things emotionally for me, and definitely put this grief in me that kind of exploded on Columbus Day. And I kind of had like a breakdown where I felt like the the complete stripping of like who I was away from me. Like I didn't even know what it meant to be human because of what had happened to my family and my lineage and me lifetime after lifetime. I like feeling that I have forgotten to speak, know how to speak to the trees or speak to the animals or speak to the water. Like and all of it, it's very indescribable. Like I just cried and cried and cried and cried. I was just I felt like without a skin almost, like I was just nothing. And from then on, I kind of committed, recommitted myself to this work of learning how to be human again, and to be human with which I see as fundamentally connected with non-humans. It's like I learned who I am through everyone else, all the other creatures in creation. And so that moment has really kind of catalyzed my own journey towards rooting myself on a land base and be getting in really deep relationship and practice and communication with a land space. So very kind of, I mean, I'm not surprised, but since committing myself through action to working the land, working with the land, I am now looking at potentially the rest of my life having that place, having a place to farm that is not going to be rented or I'm not going to be in an extremely exploitated situation. I'm extremely fortunate. I think a couple months after that moment, I also met my partner. And it's really through her work, and she's also a farmer, and she's born and raised in Massachusetts, and her tribe has been able to access land very recently, which is kind of how I plug into it all. But I now feel 4 years later as now the not only the road has been laid out before me, but I can see the top of the mountain, so to speak. I can see the glory, like I have the place. Yeah, that's all I want to share. Thank y'all.
Okay, Noah, on top of the mountain with the glory and all that sunshine coming through the window.
Yeah. I come from a preacher lineage as well, but keep it on the low.
Who else has a sermon to share? Knox, so you feel moved? Feel moved to
Yes.
share?
Can open my camera. Hi everyone. It's so good to be here. I love all your energies and your beautiful words and things that you just shared with us. It's really beautiful and wholesome and heartfelt. My name is Nexo or Nexa. This is an Arabic word for basically being my own revolution, being my own source, trusting myself, and being confident in what I dream for the world. I do sound and music and audio. Sound is the core of my life. I do sound healing, composing, recording, producing, teaching, and performing. Yeah, I just released an album in May, and this album is about seeking. Seeking as a human, seeking as a non-binary, seeking as above and beyond constructs that has added nothing but pain to our existence. So I work with sound and healing context. I have worked in different projects, centers, hospitals, in person, in groups. Yeah, I'm originally Egyptian. I moved here 5 years ago. My native tongue is Arabic. Sorry, my English is not like so great, but I'll try. So what else? I am non-binary, and I love my queer and trans people so much, especially my siblings of color, as we share this existence, as we reorganize it and navigate our own selves. So I feel so happy to be here with all of you because each one of you has so much light and has so much pain and has so much colors and creativity. Really excited to connect more with everyone. And I love collaborating and healing and sound and producing and organizing. I'm from Chicago, or not from Chicago, but I'm residing in Chicago. Almost feel like I'm from Chicago now. It's been 5 years. What else?
Maxwell, can you tell us about the kids that you work with? Oh, you froze. Okay, well, while we're waiting for, can anybody else hear Naxo? While we're waiting for Naxo to get the connection back, I wanted to share a little bit about, yeah, back? Okay, are you back? I can't hear you. Mm-mm. Okay, coming back. I'll share a little bit about the concept of Kindezi. Kindezi, you ready? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes. I was asking
Yes.
if you could share about the kids that you work with.
Oh, the kids I work with, of course. Oh wow. Speaking of that, okay. So I have been part of this project for 3 years, and the project is me teaching audio technology and music production for 5th and 6th graders. And over the 3 years, I have probably around 100 students. All of them are Black and brown, and most of them are queer. Some of them are trans, and it's just like priceless, and it's beyond words to say how beautiful the experience is, teaching those kids and seeing the passion that they have for sound and music, how they
Axel, we lost you. Okay, I'll try to share while we wait for the connection. So Kendezi is
now.
Yes, go ahead.
It's so far it's a 10 tracks compilation that they have all collaborated together on. We just released it last night on SoundCloud, and it's really amazing. Definitely would love to share it with you. Did that answer your question?
It does. The reason I wanted you to share that is because there's a Congo tradition called Kindezi, which translates as the Congo art of babysitting. And it teaches that each child is a living sun with a trajectory of moving through the sky throughout their life. And every community member has a responsibility to bring up that child, to bring up that living sun in a way that they are able to then contribute to the elders, contribute to the other members of community. Everyone is taking care of everyone. In Dream School, we are teaching that every child is a living dream. Someone dreamed that child into existence. Each of the students in Dream School, the adult students included, are a living dream. Someone dreamed you into existence, and you dreamed yourself into existence and continue to dream yourself into existence. All right, y'all, we made it to 12:50.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this beautiful gathering / collective / collaborations in the future. I'm gonna share the link for my kids' music that I was just telling you about.
That's perfect.
Absolutely. And please feel free to everyone connect with me. I'm gonna also post my link tree. My link tree has all my social media profiles and music profiles as well.
Thank you, Naxa. Okay, and that concludes our story sharing portion. Thank you so much for everybody who showed up here today. Thank you to all of your ancestors for crossing paths with everyone else's ancestors so we could meet in this space and time and this moment. I am so excited for the work that is going to unfold in the ways that we are, as we dream together, we are creating the reality that we live in. As we come together into these spaces and speak these words and speak our stories and speak our grief and speak our healing, we are helping to collectively heal each other, collectively heal who we are as conscious beings this time. I have a few announcements, but let's first, Mijay wants to sing. Okay, beautiful. Let me do the announcements first, Mijay, and then you can close us out with the song. And I'm so excited. I'm like about to cry that you want to close us out with the song. Okay, announcements before I start crying. So we're going to be touring DADA in 2020 and 2023. So please email me And Ale will put my email address in the chat. And Roldine, our managing art director and our astrologer in residence, if you would like to discuss us coming to your city to design an immersive DADA in-person experience. So that would mean the types of videos that we create, projecting them on the walls, we could project them outside, we can hold story circle spaces in your community in person. We can also work with some of the different organizations in the city that you live to create a strategic redistribution of funds. Remember, the point, the foundation of DADA is for us to redistribute at least $1 million to the people who are most impacted by climate change shifts or the planet coming back into equilibrium. So that's people who are homeless, low socioeconomic status, queer folks, folks in deserts, folks on islands, folks on coasts, folks who are being hit the hardest right now as the earth is trying to balance herself. We are also enrolling for Dream School in the fall. So Dream School teaches the practices of remembering your specific ancestral dream traditions, the ones that are specific to your lineage, and the ones that are a little bit easier to do because you're already doing them in a lot of ways. You're just working to remember how, you're working to organize them, and you're working to strengthen them. And you're working with your family to help them remember what are the dream practices in your lineages. And they are dream practices that you do while you're sleeping, and they're dream practices while you are awake. So it's in the art, it's in the farming, it's in how you talk to each other, it's in your songs, it's in what you do in the morning, it's in your whole ceremony, all of your rituals that you do while you are existing in this human form. We also, I think Ale has put the Dream School application. So if you're interested, if you're feeling called to start studying your dream medicine, the Dream School application is in the chat. We also have a scholarship for folks who need support, need financial support to be able to have a community to study with. And thank you so much to everybody who donated with your ticket sales. All of those proceeds go straight into Dream School scholarships. And so they go for people who are unable to afford it at this moment. And oftentimes that ends up being trans youth and single parents. So thank you very much for those donations. If you feel moved to give another donation or give a donation in the future and you need a tax deductible receipt, that link is in the chat through our fiscal sponsor, Fractured Atlas. And the recording is going to be made available to all registrants. So there will be an email sent out with the recording. And if there was a story that came up for you that you want to share, you can record it on your phone as using your voice note setting, and you can upload it to this website. Part of the DADA exhibit is called Mama. Yep, thank you. It's called Mama. And then our next story circle we're going to have in fall 2021. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for being here. Amije, I am so excited for this song that you're going to close us out with.
I'm so glad. I'm so filled with joy for everybody to be here and just share with each other and leave these connections, these heart prints, as I'm gonna call them, on each other as we move on throughout our days, as we navigate the world through our own eyes and through our own experiences. I am going to sing a song that is about the river. Water is very important to us as creatures of the earth, and water is in danger right now in very insidious and very belligerent ways. So this song is for water. Please go drink some after we're done here. Baile, moku baile, guna sena guna, moku baile la. Baile, moku baile, guna sena guna, Mukubalela. Mukubalela. I love y'all all so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. For our audience members, feel free to share any gratitude in this chat. I'm going to play a little bit more of Naxo's music as we close out. We have 3 more minutes, so we can just share space with each other for 3 more minutes.
شكرا نفسي وقلبي وعقلي ونوري وحبي وكل كفاية من حكايا الولاية. شكرا نفسي وقلبي وعقلي ونوري وحبي وكل كفاية من ولايا الحكاية. انسوا نهاية البداية وارموا بداية النهاية. البداية والنهاية فيا. شكرا لكل اللي فيا. شكرا لكل اللي ليا. شكرا لكل اللي بيا. شكرا لكل اللي فيا. شكرا لكل اللي ليا. كل اللي بيا واللي عليا. شكرا 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 شكرا.
Thank you all so much for joining us.